Okay, I hope this is filming, and I hope that the light from the background is not too glaring. If you could only see the makeshift tripod I just constructed. Okay, this video is something that that light is glaring. Something that I put together just to sort of break the ice. I began making videos a while ago, intending to put them on YouTube, and the videos were about things that I was inspired about at the particular time in my life, and I would make them like on a daily basis. Really, it was more so journaling for me. It was therapeutic for me because it was vlogging, as it took the place of journaling. I would just talk about whatever I was thinking, whatever I was feeling, and it was very cathartic. But it's been a while since I've been in the habit of making videos, and there's a couple things that I've thought about. I am now working. Back when I was making those videos, I was working then too, but my life was so different because I didn't have a child. Now I have a child, and I'm very busy. I love my life. Don't want for 1 second to fail to recognize the abundance. There's a great deal of abundance. Will it change focus? There's a great deal of abundance, and I'm very happy with where I am. What I have right now is what I needed and what I wanted and what was necessary given my circumstances. I feel such a sense of abundance, and I'd even say favor from the universe right now. But one thing that has prompted me to start thinking about making videos on a regular basis again is that I feel the need to get more practice speaking extemporaneously, because although I feel that in keeping with my sun sign and my Mercury sign, Gemini, ruled by the planet Mercury, I'm gifted with the ability to communicate, but for me, my communicative skills are much stronger in the area of writing. I'm a good writer. I'm a very good writer. And when I'm comfortable, I speak well, but sometimes I just clam up and I don't speak very well. It's funny. I came to a point in life when I felt like I had overcome my fear of speaking to people other than just close friends or family or whatever, speaking in front of a group, speaking in interviews. I had overcome that. For me, what I found the antidote was preparation, immense preparation. And then when you're fully prepared, you get up there and you're able to quell the fear factor because you know you're prepared. And then what often happens is that you end up veering off your script. But it's having the script and having such a sense of preparedness that, for me, gave me the confidence to go ahead and speak and be comfortable doing so. Now that I'm working, I'm finding that I kind of clam up when it comes time for me to speak in front of our group. We have these meetings every Tuesday and Thursday, and all we're doing is talking about our workload, what our goals are, how much progress we made. You know, each person speaks for about a minute or two or whatever, and I get the job done. But I don't like how uncomfortable I feel. I don't like how at this point in my life, with as certain as I am that I possess the gift to be able to communicate well, that I'm still having trouble. And again, in an area where I had sort of overcome or sort of found the remedy, so to speak. You know, like the last time I was in school, I was in nursing school, and I was taking some psychology courses. My undergraduate degree is in psychology, by the way. I was taking some psychology courses, and they required us to do some oral reports. I got up there and I spoke so eloquently, and I was so comfortable. And again, it came from being enormously prepared. As a matter of fact, I did something that you just know. ain't nobody doing unless they feel quite comfortable. In other words, we were assigned an oral report, but it was group assignment. So each group had to give a report, and you had to report for at least 30 minutes, right? So you had to decide among you who was going to deliver the speech, who was going to take notes, and who was going to, and then the other two people were assigned the task of doing something. Maybe they did more of the preparatory work. But the people that I was in a group with, well, I could tell that they were not, it's like most people have a fear of speaking, and we were in a lecture hall, so there were lots of people looking at us, and everybody was kind of nervous, right? So one person was assigned the task of speaking, or maybe they volunteered for it, and I was going to take notes, right? The day of, I was so prepared, and I was so engrossed in the material that I had studied and that I had prepared. My mind was so focused on nothing but the material, because that's what causes the nervousness, being focused on something other than just simply what it is that you're talking about. You're self-conscious when you shouldn't be conscious of yourself, because all your focus should just be on the information and the material. So I was so prepared, and I was so just in my element, and I was so up for the task that when our group was called up there, and as we were preparing, I turned around to my group members and I said, you guys, I know I volunteered to take notes, but if somebody will take notes for me, I will deliver the presentation. And of course, they looked like, what the heck? They probably thought I was about to try and duck out of or wiggle or weasel out of the responsibility of taking notes, because the person taking notes had to be up there on stage with the speaker, whereas the other person, or the other two people, could be doing something else. I forget what their role was. But anyway, they looked shocked for a minute, and they were like, oh, yeah, well, go ahead. By all means, because if somebody wants to deliver that presentation, they're prepared, and they're most likely going to do a good job, because really the only thing that stops a person from being able to deliver in moments like that is lack of preparedness. So you're not going to put yourself in that situation if you're not prepared and if you're not able to do a good job. They stepped back and let me do it. Like I said, we were assigned 30 minutes per group. Do you know I was up there speaking for an hour and a half? I spoke for an hour and a half. Just as a testament. I mean, I was so interactive with the audience. I was entirely focused on nothing but the material. All my concerns about that which makes us nervous about speaking, self, doubts about some aspect of yourself and whether it's acceptable or worthy of being presented in public. How do I look? How do I sound? For me, it was more so, it didn't make sense. Like you can think. That's the thing about fear. It's usually not rational. Because I can sit there and wonder what the basis of my nervousness or my fear was. I can contemplate that idea. And when I think about it, there ain't a damn reason for me to have ever been self-conscious or fearful about speaking in public. I have confidence in my intelligence. If you know the material that you're going to speak about, then you've got that box checked. I've never been really self-conscious about the way I look, or I never felt like I was ugly or unattractive. So, I mean, I know, I'm not trying to say that I am totally impervious to that, but I generally like the way that I look, and especially back then, that was a number of years ago. That was a very that was very telling what I just said, isn't it? But anyway, let me check on my son. He's having fun playing basketball with the new neighbors. He's having fun playing with basketball with the new neighbors. But anyway, I got up there and rocked it. It was so invigorating. I came away not only feeling like I had overcome an irrational fear of doing something that many people are afraid to do, I walked away feeling like I'm actually made to be standing in front of people talking. I felt like I had found my calling. Yet, several years later, because that's back in 2009, so now it's 6 years later, and I've been out of the habit of making videos. I have a small group of people that I associate with on a regular basis. I speak to my coworkers. We have, we're cordial. I have a boyfriend who I communicate with the most in life, besides my son. But haven't been making videos, haven't been speaking in front of people, and it's just like at work, I'm just like finding myself. And I'll even go out on a limb and say, at the risk of sounding negative and inharmonious, which I don't really mean to do, but like I look at some of my coworkers who I think I have more experience and knowledge, just literally have more years of experience in the craft, yet they seem a great deal more comfortable speaking about their work than I do. Now, I will say a lot of that has to do with what I spoke about earlier, is your cosmic orientation. Some people, based on, it could be even upbringing, but based on your astrological makeup, you just might gravitate toward the spotlight more so and are more inclined to enjoy it naturally. You feel validated, you feel loved, you feel I know this glare is gonna like wash everything out. You feel valued, you feel loved, you feel like you're interesting because people are showing interest in you, and so it's something that's very like I said, validating for you, so you just love having all eyes on you. Some people just naturally are that way, so I know that there's a little bit of that accounts for the difference in me and some of my coworkers. But long story short, I just want to break free of that, because you think about the things that hold you back in life and the little barriers, and you really, who wants any barriers? None of us wants to have to be subject to a barrier or something that's going to limit you and disable you from progressing and interfere with your ability to just move through life freely and easily. No one wants that, and I certainly don't either. So I think I'm going to, if I can fit it into my schedule, I know there's a Toastmasters in every city, and my boyfriend has done Toastmasters for years. He doesn't still do it so much, but he did it one speech last year. Apparently you can get paid for speaking. Anyway, he spoke at Toastmasters. I don't know whether he was just a guest, because he quite very extroverted, very much an alpha male, very in his element speaking in public. So I don't think he was speaking at Toastmasters to gain confidence about his ability to speak. I think he was invited. I don't really know. I'm not that familiar with Toastmasters, but I just know that it's a venue that people can use and a resource that you can use to overcome your fear of speaking. And I know that it's just a matter of repetition, doing it on a regular basis, and you'll naturally become more comfortable. But that's all I wanted to talk about right now. That's not really all I wanted to talk about, but that's kind of what came out. So that's basically what this video is going to be about. And I'm going to wrap it up in a second because I have to wash my hair. Yeah, I have to wash it. And then finish all my other chores for this weekend. Here's a bobby pin. Well, okay. And like my son says, which he gets from his father,